Hi, welcome back. It's your take once again. Well, let's not waste so much time. Let's just get into the first question that came in from Anatalia Lee. Anatalia Lee was asking, home gardening is for better feeding is becoming the talk of the town. She's interested, but she doesn't have any compound space in her home. So are there any suggestions, anything she can do to at least also have some, some plants in her, food plants in her home? Well, Anatalia, there is no excuse at all. Home gardening can be done anywhere and everywhere. It doesn't actually have to be that you have some soil, a big space to be able to plant. You can actually put pots of herbs on the ceilings, even on the walls. Just make sure that they look decorative, so that they're also exciting. So that as you're plucking, whatever you're plucking to cook your food, it also serves the purpose of bringing that sense of homeliness to your house and, beauty also in there as well. So, Anatalia, we have no excuse. You can always find where you can put a plant or a seed and it will grow. We even have hydroponics nowadays, which people use as a method of planting, where you just need to have flat trays, put your seeds in there and have some water there, and the plants will grow right on that tray. So Anatalia, there's no excuse. Then we have the second question that came in from Winnie. She says she's been trying to lose weight, and in the past 6 months she was taking 2 tablespoons of coconut oil on an empty stomach. That has been her breakfast, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. But now she has a painful feeling in her throat, and she's wondering if, the coconut oil is the cause of that painful feeling. Well, we need to be cautious, Winnie, of what we eat, especially when it's on an empty stomach, because then there's nothing that your stomach has been working with for quite a while. So whatever you drop there first really matters, and it could affect how you feel or bring on symptoms maybe of pain, like you were saying. So you need to be very careful what you drop in your tummy before you have eaten anything. Same thing as when you wake up in the morning, don't just rush and have your heavy katogo. Please have a glass of water or something that starts your stomach. Don't just go, straight into it. Then also, we need to avoid having very concentrated foods as well, whether it's in the morning or not, but especially on an empty stomach. You need to make sure that the foods that you're having are not very concentrated. For example, here you're having concentrated coconut oil. It's not diluted in anything. It doesn't have anything to help it go through the gut smoothly. So it could be a cause. I would advise that maybe you give it a break, or at least dilute it in something, maybe alongside food or alongside a drink or in a smoothie, because then it will easily be, it will actually be transported much better throughout the gut. Then also, my people, water is the best diluter for anything and everything. I mean, you can put water in anything, whether it's a liquid, whether it's a solid, whether it is a porridge. So always run to water when you're looking for something to dilute concentrated foods. For example, if you had put your coconut oil in water and taken that together, it might have been a smoother way to, have this coconut oil. So there you go, Winnie. Hope that helps you. We have the third question that came in from Gerald Labu. He was asking, what does the serving size mean? He always sees them on labels of food packaging, and he doesn't understand. There's always this part that says 1 serving size, or serving size has this number of maybe biscuits, or serving size has this grams of porridge, and he was wondering, what does serving size mean? So a serving size nutritionally is the amount of food that we recommend that you can have at one specific meal. For example, if it is breakfast, we are saying the amount of that food, let's say if it was porridge, the amount of that food that you can actually have in that breakfast, so that it's not dangerous or detrimental to your health. So that's what a serving size means, simply being put, especially nutritionally. What would have to keep at the back of our minds also is serving sizes are actually placed there to help us with portion control, especially for people that find it hard to control how much they eat. That would help you know what is enough, what is too much, what's the limit. So let's look out for the serving sizes even when we read the labels of the foods that we eat, because it would help us better understand what's best and what's more than you are supposed to be taking. So we go on to the next question that came in from Rachel M. She's asking if there are any ways to make chips healthier because she's so addicted to them that she's scared. Well, there's always a better way to eat something. There's always a better way to improve the quality of a food. So, for example, the chips that you're talking about, we have so many spices that you could add to your chips, so that you don't just have them plain with oil only. You could add healthy herbs, for example, garlic, for example, black pepper, maybe turmeric, just to make sure that there's more that you are benefiting from. And all these being natural, by the way, so that you are benefiting more from just having plain chips. Another way could be that use different cooking methods, because the biggest problem with chips is we deep fry them, and the oil that we use is usually very high quantities. So what we'd prefer is you could actually use things like, nowadays we have air fryers on the market, so you could use air fryers, because then you don't even need to use any oil and you still have your chips coming out all right. We also have things like ovens that you might decide to just bake the potatoes as they are, and then use your chips cutter to just give you that illusion of the chips or the shape of chips that you need, and then have baked chips. So there you'd feel much better that you have something, you're still having your chips, but in different forms, and therefore much healthier than you have been before. Thank you so much, Rachel, for asking that question. I hope as you go along trying to make chips more healthy, you actually realize that you need to also reduce the quantities and the frequencies of those chips that you're eating. So don't just have chips all the time, baked, air fried, because we said that's much healthier. Please do reduce the quantities, because repeating a food so many times becomes a problem. Then the last question, I'm sad, we're almost done. The last question came in from Kobusinje Leila, and she's asking, are there any porridge alternatives to millet and posho porridges for her kids, because her kids seem fed up of those two options? I think they've been either having millet or posho porridge, and now they're tired. So yes, there are definitely so many different combinations people make of porridges these days. They mill and mix them up. We have, for example, people that will mix carrot and sweet potato and posho, or they could mix millet and cassava and rice, or they could mix oats with rice. So there are very many different combinations. You just need to go out there and look out for what's available on the market. But as you look out for what's available in the market, a very important point to note is, please try and check out, especially for children, check out for porridges that have more than 3 ingredients in them, other than having a simple porridge with only 1 ingredient. For example, just having millet porridge, it would be much more recommended that you have something maybe that has millet, rice and pumpkin in the same porridge. There you're able to benefit so much from all the different foods that are in there. And then also be specific and try and make sure that the porridges have a protein content. So most of the times the protein contents that I see are mushroom, silverfish. We have another type locally known as nkeje. So if you can have a protein content in that porridge, that would be even more healthy, because then it's a balanced meal all in one. We even have porridges these days that have vegetables in them. You have things like dodo, or amaranthus in English. You have things that may have mushroom, like we have mentioned, that's another vegetable. You have things that may have carrots, that's another vegetable as well. So instead of just having maybe cassava porridge or rice porridge, plain and simple, you should be having a porridge that has 3 ingredients, a carbohydrate, and then a protein and a vegetable. That would be a totally balanced meal all in one, and actually would benefit the health of your kids much better. Thank you so much, Leila. You have been awesome. You have been an awesome audience. I'm sad that we have to go, but I will be preparing for you the next week. Please send in those questions. Do not forget, the questions are being sent to the page Amanda Twebaze, nutritionist. Other people are also running to the New Food blog, and they find it quite interesting, so don't miss out on that. The food blog is foodviame.blogspot.com, so get yourself there. Enjoy the ride. Bye.